Hi, and welcome. You're listening to the X22 Report. My name is Dave, and this is episode 1391B, and today's date is October 2nd, 2017, and the title of the episode is, What is the Real Las Vegas Agenda? Let's get into the economic collapse, political, and geopolitical news. Now, I've been noticing the corporate medias out there, and they're continually pushing the idea that there's no relief in Puerto Rico whatsoever. And I know there's a battle going on between the Puerto Rican governor and Trump, and people have been writing in saying, no, there is help coming, and we are getting supplies. Ships are coming into port, and we are getting the stuff that we need. And right now, the Defense Department is out there, and they're saying that the majority of retail, gas, grocery stores, and big box stores are now open in Puerto Rico. And they're saying that the situation is ongoing. The U.S. military is currently undertaking a massive logistic effort to restore power, basic services, and rebuild the infrastructure. And we can see that critical services have yet to be restored, with only 14 hospitals with access to intermittent power access and cell phone services available on only 11% of the island. Thousands of troops are now in Puerto Rico assisting in disaster, and people have been writing in saying, yeah, there is a lot of people here helping out. Supplies are coming in, and there are a lot of ships coming in with a lot of stuff. So the corporate media is out there trying to make it look like nothing is happening in Puerto Rico, but actually it seems like the opposite is really happening, and especially those people that are on the ground reporting in. Thank you very much for letting us know this. We see out in Spain, the Catalonian government claims that 90% of the voters have decided to leave Spain right now. They're saying they had a turnout of about 2.2 million people that voted in the referendum. And we're going to have to see where this goes from here, because as we can see, Spain, the EU, Wall Street, they don't want this to happen whatsoever. And they're going to do whatever they possibly can to stop this. Now, North Korea, they have been sending around 30,000 rocket launchers, and they've been supplying different countries with weapons. And Egypt seems to be one of them, where they purchased these rocket launchers on the black market. Now, of course, they violated the sanctions that the U.S. has, the UN has, and right now we can see that North Korea, they are sending weapons on the black market. So is the United States, so is Russia, so is every single other country. Do we really think that all these countries are on the up and up? Now, especially when a country is being sanctioned, they're going to do whatever they possibly can to survive and bring in currency. Because if you have sanctions on you, you need to trade, you need to barter, you need to do whatever you can to survive. And this is what these countries have done all along. Actually, North Korea right now is looking at the crypto market, because the United States cannot do anything to stop them in the crypto market. And we can see there's a lot of countries that are being sanctioned who turn to the crypto market. Individuals who are being sanctioned are turning toward the crypto market, because the United States government, well, they can't stop that. And we can see there's many countries out there that have survived a very long time with sanctions applied to them, where they used gold, they bartered, they used other currencies to survive, and they've done this for many, many years. So at this point, we can see that sanctions really don't work whatsoever. They're only used to bully a country into doing something the cabal wants them to do. Now, we had this huge mass shooting in Las Vegas. Stephen Craig Paddock, he was a retired accountant who lived on a desert golf course in Mesquite, Nevada, and he has no known history of violence whatsoever. Now, his family is completely in shock right now. He was 64 years old, he was an accountant, and he does not fit the profile of a mass shooter. Now, his brother was out there, and he says, yes, he had a couple of handguns, but he wasn't really into weapons. Not like these automatic weapons and things like that. He has no military background or anything like that. He lived a quiet life, and he was found on the 32nd floor of the Mandalay Hotel, and he allegedly killed himself. Now, this is very interesting. So he has no history of violence, no criminal record that we know of right now, and he was in the hotel. He broke the windows on the 32nd floor of the Mandalay Hotel, and he opened fire on a crowd of people, which is kind of strange. One of the questions is, was he on any type of medication? Because we know that SSRIs, once you start coming off the medications, people hear voices in their head and they do crazy things. Now, his father, well, he was on the FBI's most wanted list, and he was a bank robber, and they were looking for him for about 10 years or so. But again, this really has nothing to do with him. Maybe there was some deal with the FBI or anything like that, but we can see right now that they're just bringing this up to say that, in the background, his father had a criminal record. That means that he would have a criminal record, which is completely ridiculous. So in the hotel on the 32nd floor, the windows were broken out, and he opened fire. Now, they're saying that he had a huge amount of weapons in his room. Now, this is a casino. If you've ever been to Vegas, casinos have cameras all over the place. When you come in and you check in the elevators, throughout the casino lobby, and to get to the elevators, you have to walk through the casinos. Down the hallways, they have cameras everywhere. They keep an eye on everything. It's a casino. So we should see videotape of him coming into the hotel. Now, the hotel is a gun-free zone. Now, if he was bringing in the amount of weapons they're saying, he had some type of big bag with him. And this is very odd because we should see some of this video footage. As of right now, we don't see the video footage. But what's very interesting is that the Islamic State came out and they were claiming that he was, part of their brigade. He was a soldier of the Islamic State. He was radicalized. And again, we have many different agendas occurring at the same time. We have those that are pushing the Islamic State, and again, that story is completely fake, phony, and false. There's no way that this guy was radicalized whatsoever. This is just being put out there. The other idea is that maybe this is being used to create chaos, which I think it is, to push gun control, which I think it is, because we see Hillary Clinton out there. We see that she is out there saying that, there would have been more deaths if Las Vegas shooter had a silencer, which is a very strange thing to say. Also saying that we need to go and put pressure on the NRA. Now, we can see right now that she is pushing the agenda of gun control, where there's a lot of movie stars and others out there pushing the idea of gun control. Remember, guns don't kill people. People kill people. Just like someone who jumps behind a truck and drives into many people. The truck didn't kill people. It was the person driving the truck. Someone who goes behind the wheel of a car and they kill 20, 30 people. Well, once again, it is not the car. It is the person. The same thing with a weapon. A knife, a gun. It is not the weapon that kills people. Now, think about this. During the event, they had people checked. People were searched. And everyone down there during the concert, 20-something thousand or whatever it was, thousands and thousands of people, they had no weapon. So the authorities who are trying to keep us safe, again, if we go along with their story, it didn't work because someone on the outside had a weapon, if we go along with their story. Now, if we look at the false flag angle, we have to wonder, why would this person do this? And we also realize that there was this 21-year-old who said there was this other woman who was pushing her way up to the front, telling everyone that everyone was going to die, which is a very odd thing in itself. Now, why was this happening? We don't know. But we can see there's multiple agendas here. We have the Islamic State from Site Intelligence trying to push their agenda. That we can push aside. That's fake, phony, and false. The Islamic State is completely finished. He was not radicalized. He was not a Muslim. He was not doing anything like that. Then we have gun control and creating chaos, maybe for Trump. This is more of a believable angle here. And the 64-year-old Nevada resident, Paddock, he lived in a retirement community. And again, he does not fit the profile of a mass shooter. He has a hunting license in Alaska. He got a pilot's license in 2003, which means he's undergone some physical and mental evaluation. And again, we should see something in the halls or someplace in the hotel because they have cameras all over the place. Now, the other question is, they found handguns in the room. Why did he bring handguns? Because he's on the 32nd floor. What is that, like 600 feet up or so? And the event was about 1,000 feet away across an intersection. So he was firing from the hotel across an intersection to this area. Now, this is kind of strange right off the bat. Now, the firing of the weapon, this was not a semi-automatic weapon. It is an automatic weapon because you can hear the bursts and it sounds like an automatic weapon. Now, they're out there trying to convince us that yes, it was an automatic weapon that this individual have. So the BATF, they should have a record of this, right? Because if he had an automatic weapon, there should be a record. If the weapon was illegal, then the BATF won't have the record. So he was shooting from the 32nd floor, which is very, very high up. You can barely see, anything that's going on. Maybe he had a scope. I don't know at this point. And it was 1,000 feet away. So he was on the 32nd floor. There's wind up there. And it was across an intersection about 1,100 feet away. Now, to fire a weapon like this and to hit the amount of people that these shots are lethal, this is kind of unbelievable. Now, we don't know if the room was registered to Stephen Paddock. I mean, I think they're going to come out and say it was registered to him. The question is, why did he shoot himself? Again, he might have been on some type of medication. Or let's look at it from a different angle. He went to Vegas, he got this room, and they were going to stage an event. They went in there, they shot him. And this could be the intelligence agencies, this could be some type of organization. They shot him dead in the room. Then they used an automatic weapon. They planted whatever weapons they had up in the room. They shot down to create this false flag. Those individuals then left, leaving him dead in the room. Because we've seen this before where this has been done, and this seems a lot more reasonable than this person who has no history of violence, no criminal record, who lived in the area, who had no military background. He was planning on doing this on the 32nd floor, firing across an intersection with a long rifle. Something doesn't add up. So we can see right now there's going to be a lot more information coming out. We can see that we still don't have all the information, but what they're trying to tell us, there are many more questions that need to be answered because the pieces are not fitting together. Listen, everyone, thanks a lot for listening. Be well, be safe, and especially be prepared. Thanks a lot.